It is the most spooktacular time of year again, and we have 9 Halloween activities for toddlers and preschoolers, and parents rejoice because pretty much all of these are low mess and can be set up in under 5 minutes. If you're new here, my name is Rachel from The Confused Mom. Welcome to my channel, and I share baby and toddler product reviews, activities, as well as Montessori at-home tips. So make sure to hit that subscribe and notification bell so you don't miss future videos. Before we jump in, I just want to say most of these Halloween activities use household items you probably already have. But if there's something you don't have, I've linked all of the materials I use in the description box below, as well as in the blog post that goes with this video and includes previous year's Halloween activities. And as an added bonus, beyond these 9 activities we're gonna cover today, I also created a 35+ page Halloween activity pack for you guys to go ahead, print out, use with your toddlers and preschoolers. It's on sale now for the next 72 hours for just over $1. That is linked in the description box as well. Definitely don't miss it. Make sure to leave my little Etsy shop 5 stars because this is only like the second time I've done it. And let me know what you guys think of it. First up is a Wormy witch's brew. Every year I do some sort of witch's brew. Be sure to go back, check out my past Halloween activities for toddlers videos for even more cauldron ideas. And this one is very different than I've done before. What you're gonna need for it is some tissues, some markers, a skewer or like a metal straw, and then of course some sort of cauldron. Start by using markers to make a simple design on your tissue paper, and then roll it tightly around your skewer. And depending on your kid's age, they could help you do this. And then once it's tightly rolled on, you'll squish it all the way down and slide it off. And that is one of your worms. You can make as many worms as you want, and you will place your worms into the empty cauldron. From there, you can use water in different potion bottles. I would stick with just clear water, but of course you could color it if you want to. And then you will use the little squeeze dropper to fill it up with water from the potion bottle and add it to your cauldron on top of the worms. This will cause the worms to grow and wiggle about in the cauldron, and it is a ton of fun. Next up is spooky eyes. So this was definitely one of my toddler's favorite activities. It does take the longest. Head outside to collect some rocks. The more eyeball shaped, the better. And then you're gonna need some basic paint as well as glow in the dark paint. And all we're gonna do is take our rocks, paint them with a white base coat, let that dry, paint them with the glow in the dark paint, and then using our regular paint again, we're going to just paint on little eyeball designs. You can even use a little bit of the glow in the dark paint again to make a little dot for the pupil. Once they're totally dry, you will bring these into a dark room with you and watch the spooky eyes glow. This was definitely one of my daughter's favorite activities we did this year. Super fun little nightlight to do for Halloween, October. 10/10 recommend it. Next is going to be the feelings pumpkins. So 3 years old and up are definitely the time for big emotions. In fact, go back and check out my video I did on 3 ways to play with your child to help them process big emotions. I'll leave a link to it in the description box below. And this is really just one more way that we are going to teach our kids how to name feelings so that they don't feel as big and scary. So for this is part of that Halloween packet I showed you guys before. You could obviously just use some orange and black construction paper to DIY this for free at home too. And all I'm doing is cutting out the different face shapes, giving that to my toddler to paste on the corresponding feeling. So this one here is labeled happy, so she's gluing on the shapes to make a happy face. Over here we have surprised, again gluing on the different shapes to make a surprised face. After she's done all of the little cut and paste glue activities, there's a sheet in there where they can actually draw on the happy, surprised, angry, sad face to really kind of solidify that information they just worked on. So highly recommend that one. And as a bonus activity, we can even add hair onto these pumpkins. So how you would do that is you're gonna cut out the pumpkin, and then you're also going to give your kid some yarn and some scissors and have them cut about 2 to 3 inch long pieces of yarn. Take the cut out pumpkin and a hole puncher and have them punch around the top of the pumpkin. You could even add little dots onto the pumpkin so they know where to put a hole. And you won't just end up with one giant hole from them punching in the same spot over and over. And then have them take their cut strands of yarn, loop them through the hole, and tie them off. I got this idea from my daughter was really interested in learning how to tie knots recently. So depending on the age of your kid and their interest, that's another way to up level this really simple activity for even more fun. Next up is going to be a jack-o'-lantern posting activity. For this, you're gonna need a piece of cardboard, scissors, a marker, and a screwdriver. Additionally, you're going to ideally want orange mums or some sort of orange flower, but if you don't have orange flowers, you could use like a yellow flower, a white flower, a green flower, any color that pumpkins typically come in. And those flowers are going to be the background of our pumpkin, as well as a different color flower to make our jack-o'-lantern face. Here, I can only find yellow, orange flowers, and then these pink and purple ones we already had in our house to keep this super low budget friendly. I just went with those. Obviously, the sizes of them were a little misshapen, and this really just turned into a pumpkin versus a jack-o'-lantern, but we're gonna go with it. All you're gonna do is cut down the piece of cardboard, draw a pumpkin on, use your screwdriver to punch a bunch of holes into there, and then you will cut the flowers into short stems. Give this to your child and have them place the flower stem through the holes to create either a pumpkin or a jack-o'-lantern, kind of just like they're toddlers. Go with however it ends up coming out. My daughter loves this activity. Next is masking tape mummy. For this activity, you can DIY it using just black construction paper or regular paper and a scissor, or you can use the printable included in that Halloween pack I mentioned before. But basically, you just need a body form as well as some masking tape. And if you don't have masking tape, you could use Band-Aids if you're in a pinch too. And depending on the age and strength of your child, have them rip off the pieces of tape and cover the body form to make a little mummy. My daughter had a ton of fun like this. Alternatively, you could also use contact paper from the dollar store to make a body form and tape that up to a wall and give your kids some tissue paper or paper towels to decorate the mummy that way. I've done similar versions of that in previous activity videos, including my fall activity one, which I'll link in the description box below. I found though, as my toddler got older, she's now at that preschool age, she far prefers tape over those kind of contact paper ones. Definitely follow your child's interest on this and adapt as needed. Next up is going to be our robot monster. For this, you are gonna need some magnetic tiles, but I honestly cannot think of Halloween without thinking of kids in costumes as robots or monsters. For this one, you're going to use your magnetic tiles to build a robot, and you're gonna wanna save any metal caps from food containers, so juice, canned goods, whatever, and you can leave them as is, or you can take this up a notch and have them decorate the lids, paint them black, add some Halloween stickers to them, make it more festive if you want. But basically, you're gonna build a robot with magnetic tiles, and you're going to use these different magnetic caps to decorate your robot. My toddler had so much fun. The great thing about this activity is that you can go ahead and tear it down and rebuild, make mini monsters depending on how many magnetic tiles you have. So this is so awesome. Next is rescue spiders. For this activity, you'll need a pack of the Halloween cobwebbing that you can get at the dollar store. And optionally, you could use a bucket and some toddler tweezers too to make this easier or more challenging. Basically, all you're gonna do is fray up your cobwebbing. I have some saved here from previous years. Depending on the age and dexterity of your child, you can either leave it in a big ball with the spiders buried in there pretty well for more of a challenge, or if your kid is younger, you could spread it out in a very thin layer where it's easier to get the spiders out, or if you're wanting them to work more on their tweezer skills, start off with that thin layer before advancing to the kind of more knotted up version. Additionally, you could even add some miniature toys into this and have your kid rescue their toys from the spiders and the cobwebbing. There's lots of different ways to kind of bring in more of your child's interest for this, and I love it because it's so easy. Next, we are going to have a dancing ghost party. And for this STEM activity, you're going to need some lima beans, a black permanent marker, a jar, water, baking soda, and some vinegar. Have your toddler decorate the lima beans as ghosts using the black permanent marker. And then what you're gonna do is fill just a little bit of water into a glass jar. Add in a tablespoon of baking soda. Stir that up really, really well. From there, you're gonna drop in only a few of the ghosts. I would start with probably no more than 4. And then you'll slowly add some vinegar to it. And you'll watch as the carbon dioxide bubbles start to form around your ghosts and start to cause them to dance up and down. If for whatever reason your ghosts don't dance, chances are you either added too many to the jar or that your lima beans sat in there too long and the baking soda and vinegar caused their outer protective layer to wear down too much. So just throw in some new lima beans and those ones should start dancing. And for over 25 more Halloween activities, don't forget to grab that Halloween activity bundle I mentioned, on sale now for just over $1. That sale is gonna last for 72 hours. After that, it's gonna go back to full price, covering numbers, tracing, cutting, all sorts of good stuff in there. You definitely won't wanna miss it. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend. In the meantime, be sure to go back, check out my previous year's Halloween activities for toddlers, as well as my dollar store Halloween home decor DIYs. Leave a comment below with which activity you're most excited to try, how it went for you. As always, my name is Rachel from The Confused Mom. Have a good one.